Hi guys, in today's video we're going to be looking at a section from the Changing UK Economy, and we're going to look at how the UK economy has changed from the old economy to the new economy, and we're going to be looking at some of the key terms that are used in this part of the unit. So we're looking at post-war to present day changes in the UK economy and the different sectors and the sectoral changes that have happened since just after the Second World War to today. So in the past, especially in the north of England, in the Edexcel textbook it talks about places in the north of England, in the northeast and the northwest, and that's because in the north of England in the past there was lots and lots of primary and secondary jobs there. Mining, shipbuilding, manufacturing, lots and lots of jobs in the north of England that took place up to about the 1980s. So primary would have been mining and secondary would have been manufacturing of different goods, etc. So what happened? Globalization happened, and I've got a video on that as well if you want to have a little look at that. But globalization, if you remember, it was cheaper to buy raw materials and manufacture goods abroad because labour costs were lower, land costs were lower, transport's now quite cheap, etc. So it becomes uneconomical to manufacture goods in the UK because it's just too high cost of especially labour and wages, so it makes more sense for firms and businesses to manufacture abroad. However, that brought about huge amounts of unemployment in the north of England and left many areas in a spiral of decline or with the negative domino effect. And the spiral of decline obviously means that when a business or an industry closes, especially one that's quite a large industry that's employed many people, maybe within a town or a city, that industry becomes unviable to keep running because it's cheaper to import from abroad or manufacture abroad. So that business closes down, people lose their jobs. So if people lose their jobs, then what will happen is they'll have less income, so they'll spend less money on local services and shops, so they will close down, and that will cause even more people to become unemployed. So that causes people to maybe move out of the area or become unemployed and have to claim benefits. So that has what we call the spiral of decline or the negative domino effect. So these areas, especially maybe in the north of England, were very badly impacted by the closure of primary and secondary jobs during the 1980s, kind of up to the 1980s and onwards. So what happened then is the UK economy turned from being predominantly primary and secondary into tertiary, and we've had developments in tertiary in terms of jobs related to what we call the new economy or the knowledge economy, which we'll get to those definitions in a minute. So these days most jobs are either in the tertiary areas, which is can be low skilled, working in services, etc. So many people are employed in shops and offices, etc. Maybe lower skilled, some of those, or they could be higher skilled in what we call the new economy, which is kind of divided up into the new economy and the knowledge economy. Now the knowledge economy is often called linked to the quaternary sector, and that means that it is things like business, finance, IT, things that are much higher skilled. So we have got London and Canary Wharf as an example within this unit, and many jobs there are within what we call the knowledge economy because they are in the banks, they're in IT companies, they're in financial institutes, etc. And that requires a lot higher level of skill and education in order to take those jobs. So tertiary jobs can be divided into higher skill and lower skill, and the higher skilled ones, especially if they're working with a high level of education, will be known as the knowledge economy. They'll be classified as that. So that is the change in the UK economy from primary and secondary into tertiary and quaternary. So it's worth revising these key terms and knowing some examples of jobs within these sectors.